Welcome to Weeping Willow Homestead and another What We Eat for Dinner in a Week. In these videos, I try to show you how I combine inexpensive Aldi groceries with food that we are richly blessed with from the food bank to make hopefully well-balanced, well-rounded dinners. And as a family, we generally eat low carb because my husband and I have to for health reasons. So as the sole cook in the house, it is easier for me to just make one meal rather than trying to make lots of variations, short order cook kind of thing. You will see some changes to that in, like, my kids might eat regular pizza and my husband and I eat low carb, or something along those lines. So yeah, let me jump right in. Tonight it is Monday night, and my husband would like it to be known that it is not cold enough for soup yet. My husband is not a soup person. He prefers stews and thick if he has to have it. But I was not sure whether he was going to be home for dinner tonight, so I just went for it. This is definitely going to be a wing it week. We have not been to the grocery store in 3 weeks, actually longer than 3 weeks. I did make a quick run. We had food bank today. You will have already seen that. And a small run to a local grocery store for a few things, and you will have seen that haul. And then we have a food bank later on the week on Thursday, and you will have already seen that as well. So you guys are ahead of me on that one. I don't know what we got. You already do. So yeah, I am trying to push out going to the grocery store until next month, as much as possible. I went today for a few things, but yeah, you know what I mean. So we're going to I'm definitely trying to use the things that we have on hand and make do with what we've got, and make it work. And that's why soup kind of happened tonight. So we've got this one over here is a broccoli cheddar soup. So I had a package of ham in the freezer that I had gotten from the food bank quite a while ago, and I diced it up, and I actually was purposely saving it back for this because this is one of my favorite soups. And then to that, I did a couple of broccoli crowns and the leftover carrots from Saturday. I did a little bit of milk and some cheese, and then the turkey broth from the carcass of the turkey from last week. So that was a nice, quick and easy one. I really didn't add a whole lot to this. It probably will need salt. Oh, did I say cheese? I put some cheese in there too. It will probably need some salt, and I might throw some dried parsley in there to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. I'm not sure. We're going to swing over here. The other soup is butternut squash soup. Last year we had a bumper harvest of butternut squash, and so I went ahead and canned butternut squash soup, which base is what I'm going to call it, which I'd never done before. I just took my regular butternut squash soup recipe where I dice up everything and put it in the crock pot, and instead I canned that. And then when I opened the jar tonight, I literally stuck my immersion blender down into it and pureed it, put it in this pan and heated it up, and then added in about 1/3 of a can of coconut milk. And that was it. And it smells just like when I make it fresh, so I'm excited about that. The only thing is it's maybe a little thinner than it usually is, so I might next time add a little bit of thickener to it when I go to start cooking it, just to kind of creamy it up. This is my daughter and my husband's favorite soup. It is not low carb, but he might break the low carb to eat some of that because he loves it. For the kids, I picked this up at the food bank today. It is mini garlic naan, and I'm just going to set that on the side and let them break it into pieces and dip it. I am not feeling great. I'm tired. I'm worn out. My brain fog has been awful today. So otherwise, I probably would have made something, biscuits or something like that for them, or like some low-carb biscuits for all of us. As it is, I will just eat the soup and be quite content with that and not have a bread or cracker or something like that. But yeah, that is Monday night. We'll see you tomorrow. It is Tuesday, and usually Tuesday we do something taco Mexican-ish. So today I did fajitas. I have not made fajitas in quite some time because peppers are really expensive in the grocery store. So I generally do not make them unless I have homegrown ones. And I had run out a long time ago out of ones out of the freezer from last year because I did not have a great growing season on peppers last year, but I have fresh ones right now. So I did about 5 bell peppers and sliced those nice and thin, a couple of onions, 2 split chicken breasts that had the bones on them from the food pantry, and I just cut the bones off and sliced it really thin. And then I put the bones in a bag in the freezer. I keep a gallon-sized bag in the freezer, and anytime we have bones, I stick them in there, and then later on I'll make bone broth with that. I diced up a tomato and threw on there, and then I had 2 packets of fajita seasoning that my brother-in-law had given us because he had bought in bulk and they were going to expire. So they are expired, which is just fine with me. So I sprinkled some of those on. Then I baked it at 400 for probably close to an hour because the chicken was still slightly frozen. And we tend to like the peppers really well done. Well, sort of. This is not a family favorite. This is a favorite of mine, but I have 2 kids that are not huge on cooked peppers. But yeah, it's a favorite of mine, so they're just going to deal with it. I make their favorites all the time. So yeah, I was craving this. To top it, we have some sour cream, some of the nacho queso stuff, and then those little avocado guacamole pouches from the food bank. Now, there's quite a bit of liquid underneath it, and I had fully intended on making rice to go under it to soak that up for the kids. And I went to get my bag of rice out, and I have not touched the bag of rice in quite some time, just haven't needed or wanted rice for whatever reason. And it had weevils in it, which are little bugs that get into your grains. They can get into your wheat, into pasta, into cornmeal, anything like that. So, unfortunately, I won't be using that. I have heard of people just rinsing the rice off really well and using it, but rice is so inexpensive that I'm not willing to do that. Now, I will say that rice will still not go in the trash because you can feed raw rice to chickens, and sometimes I will save back things like that, pasta that's not great anymore, or beans that have sat in the cabinet too long or something like that, and I will soak them and cook them in the winter when it's really, really cold, and I will feed them warm to our chickens. So I will probably do that. I will probably put it in an airtight jar or something like that, label it as don't eat, and then I'll save it back for chickens for later. So still not going to waste. I just feel bad that I let the weevils get it. So that is dinner for Tuesday night. We'll see you tomorrow. It is Wednesday night, and tonight we're having a family favorite of sausage sheet pan dinner. This is a great one if you have a bunch of little scraps of veggies that you need to use up, and a couple packages of smoked sausage, depending on the size of your family, because I do double for 2 reasons. 1, I have a big family, and 2, I love leftovers of this, and I will turn this into soup by just adding bone broth to it. And I will gladly eat this for the next several days. So I cut up, there's broccoli, cabbage, sweet potato, onion, green beans from our garden, cauliflower, and carrots. And you can literally do any vegetable. I've done Brussels sprouts. You can even throw in like peas and corn. Canned vegetables work for this just fine. I baked the vegetables with just oil on them for probably half an hour at 400. Then I added on the sausage sliced on top and just seasoned it with a garlic and herb blend from Aldi. And baked it for another 15 minutes or so, just so the sausage is heated through and the vegetables are all done. That's the biggest thing, is you want to test the vegetables before you put the meat on and see how close they are to being done. As long as they're like 3/4 of the way done, then you're fine. With that, I will put, I just made up a box of mac and cheese for the kids. I will put that in the bottom of their bowl, and then I'll put whatever vegetables they want on top. And that's why I split the vegetables up for ours. You can totally mix them together. But this way, I let the kids pick and choose what vegetables they want. So I have some kiddos that won't want some of the vegetables. So that kind of makes it to where it's kind of a funner way of doing it, more fun way of doing it, that they get something slightly different. So, all right, that is, oh, if you, mac and cheese is an option, like a rice-a-roni type thing, a seasoned rice, cauli rice, if you want to keep it low carb, anything like that is an option under it as well. Oh, buttered egg noodles or egg noodles cooked in broth are both really good with this. So my husband and I will just eat it without the mac and cheese, and we'll skip out on the sweet potatoes and watch how many carrots we get. So yeah. All right, that's Wednesday night. We'll see you tomorrow. It is Thursday night, and tonight we are having a viewer-suggested meal. We had gotten a beef shoulder roast steak from the food pantry, I think earlier this month. No, I think it was actually last month. And at one point in time, I had gotten it out frozen with the intention of unwrapping it and throwing it in the crock pot and doing this. And then I unwrapped it and realized it was wrapped in plastic. And it was like in the plastic. So I couldn't get it off. So I put it back in there, and then I thawed it this time. And I did a Mississippi pot roast, which was almost unanimously what everyone said I should do with it. I have never had Mississippi pot roast before, but this looks amazing. Y'all, I'm actually excited for this one, and I'm not a big beef fan. So, but earlier I was browning this, and my husband calls from the living room and says, "What are you cooking in there? It smells delicious." So I think he's excited about this meal too. So thank you for the suggestion. I can already tell you we're all going to love this because it smells amazing. With that, I went simple because this is so rich. I wanted something kind of light. So we have sliced tomato from our garden, and then we have just salad. This is a little bit more than half of the head of lettuce that I picked up from the grocery store the other day, and then just 1 carrot shredded up. I have raisins and French fried onions and slivered almonds and some Parmesan crisps for topping. Oh, and I've got some cheese, just some shredded cheese for topping for the salad. And I just let everybody pick what they want. So yeah, nice, easy meal because it's been cooking since noon. Got a bunch of random things done today, so it was nice to have this done and a nice warm meal since it's, like I said, it's been cooling off. We got to maybe 72 today, so yeah, fall is in the air, y'all. So that is a Thursday night. We'll see you tomorrow. It is Friday night, and Friday night at our house means pizza night. Sometimes it's homemade, sometimes it's store-bought. Almost never is it takeout because we live too far away for takeout to be delivered to us. And I can buy a whole lot of frozen pizzas for the same price of one regular pizza. So, or one, takeout pizza. So, yeah, it just doesn't happen. Tonight, we're kind of having a little bit of everything. For the kids, I had these Kaiser rolls that we had picked up from the food pantry, just stuck them in the freezer until I was ready for them. And so I cut them open and made mini pizzas out of them. 400 for 10 minutes and you're good to go. Super simple. For me, I did a cauliflower crust pizza. It's been a while since I made one of these, but I was really craving something more pizza than the chaffles that I have been making. And I also saw a thing where she cooked the cauliflower for a while in the oven, kind of spread out like the cauliflower rice, and then pulled it out, cooled it, and squeezed a bunch of the water out, and it made a better pizza crust. So I'm giving that a go. It really doesn't look any different, so I'll see if it tastes or has a different mouthfeel. I will post the original recipe from Dr. Berg in the show notes for that, though. It's super simple. 2 cups of rice cauliflower, 2 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese, 2 eggs. So it's really a really easy one. You can use frozen rice cauliflower. You can rice it yourself, but it works up really, really quick. So that's nice. And then for the kids, I'm tired. It's been a long day. I'm hurting today. So I just opened up a couple cans of carrots and steamed those, just warmed them up, and then put on some butter and a little bit of the maple sugar that I had. For me, because carrots are not low carb, I have the very slim pickings of green beans that I got. I mean, it's one serving of green beans, and I just tossed those in the air fryer for a little bit. So that's fine with me. I am not over green beans. My kids are so burnt out on green beans. So not a big deal. That's fine with me. And then tonight we're actually going to take this out and eat it in the backyard by the fire and enjoy the evening together, goofing off in the yard. So I'm ready to sit for a bit. So that is Friday night. We'll see you tomorrow. I forgot to add, tonight is also dessert night. It's the one night a week that we for sure have dessert. On occasion, we'll have dessert another night, but Friday night is always pizza night, dessert, and then a lot of times we'll do a movie. We're just mixing it up tonight. So I have the maple leaf cookies. I have the Oreos. There's the gummy bears. There's candy from a parade. Yeah, I think that might be everything. And what I'll do is I'll just lay it out on the counter and I'll let the kids pick what they want. Usually it's a few pieces of candy or a few cookies, whatever. So for me, my body has not been responding well to any of the alternative sweeteners, the erythritol, all those kind of things. It's giving me bubble tummy. So I will probably end up eating a half of one of the broth Mosier, I think is how it's pronounced, chocolate bars, the dark chocolate bars from Aldi, which is kind of my go-to. It is sweetened with sugar, but just a half of one is like a few carbs, so it's not a big deal. So yeah, just wanted to add that in. It is Saturday night, and Saturdays I usually try to make a big dinner, kind of traditionally what you would think of for like Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. So yeah, let's just jump right in here because I know it's a lot. I had 2 of the bags of chicken leg quarters from the food pantry, and I went ahead and split the thigh from the leg so that I could season them differently. Generally, I have a lot of kids that like the barbecue sauce and like legs. I wanted the herb, so like I said, I just did those different. And I had someone ask me about how to do the chicken leg quarters so that they're not dry. Crazy enough, thighs are really, really easy to not have be dry. I put them in this pan. I do not oil them. I do not do anything. I sprinkled some salt on is all that I did. And I put it in a 375-degree oven, and then I left it in there for 2 hours. And I know that seems crazy. I know that's but doesn't that make them dry? You can see the juice in the bottom and nice crispy skin. Yum. Usually I will go ahead and pull them out about 15 minutes before we're going to eat them. I will take a spoon and put some of the juice on them so that the seasonings stick, and that's when I season them. The same goes for the barbecue sauce. I wait until about 15 minutes before I'm going to pull them out so that the barbecue sauce doesn't burn, because obviously if you're going to leave it in there for 2 hours, it's going to end up burnt. So that's how I do them. As for sides, we had a few small onions that needed used, so I sliced those up, added some garlic and herb seasoning from Aldi, and a few pats of butter, and baked those in the oven with everything else. I had like half a crown of broccoli left, so I just steamed it and then added some butter and salt when it was done. Super simple. I love steamed broccoli. There is 2 tomatoes from the garden, 1 red and 1 yellow. Those are slowing down. I'm so sad. Some 2 very large sweet potatoes, and I just put some avocado oil and thyme on those. And then a low carb option is some radishes roasted the same way. They taste great. And then I did 2 boxes, the 2 boxes of the spiral shaped mac and cheese that we got from the food pantry this week. So I kind of needed to just use up several things that I have little bits of leftovers of. We have not been to the grocery store in pushing 4 weeks. So, in fact, it's been 4 weeks. Yeah. So, obviously, we've been to the food pantry, but we don't get a whole lot of fresh vegetables from the food pantry, which is fine. But we also don't get a whole lot of low carb things that I can eat. So, yeah. We have a doctor's appointment on Thursday, which I thought was on Tuesday of next week, that I was planning on going to the grocery store then, and now that I realize it's on Thursday, I'm hoping I can push next week's menu a little bit longer. We're gonna make this work. So anyway, that is dinner for Saturday night. If you are new here, this is the end of my cook week. I do not cook on Sundays. In fact, I take the whole day off. I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do laundry, I don't do dishes. We do chicken chores, but even those we kind of like, today we got the waters filled and all that kind of stuff. We really try to actively take Sunday off. We go to church. When we get home from church, I pull out all of the leftovers from the week, and the kids get to pick and choose whatever they want. If all they want is meat, fine. If all they want is carbs, fine. It's a great way of getting the leftovers used up so that we throw away as little food as possible. And in our house, we don't even throw it away. It goes to the chickens. Usually, I would say on average, I throw away maybe a cup to 2 cups worth of leftovers, and that's it. And that's max. Yeah, we get it eaten. We use it all. So that's good. Then Sunday night, I pull out all the things that you would traditionally have on a charcuterie board. Crackers, fresh veggies, dried fruits and meats, nuts, seeds, goat cheese, just anything, yeah, like you picture for a charcuterie, that you put on a charcuterie board. I get that out. I even bust out paper plates on that day. And we, once again, I let the kids pick and choose whatever they want. And I just kind of leave it out for an hour or so after dinner, and they can come back and graze some more, and that's fine. Usually we end up, the kids sit at a table, like the coffee table in the living room that night, and we watch goofy shows or a movie or whatever. We watch some YouTube. And so it's kind of just a casual night. So that's the end of my cook week. I will try to remember to post any relevant recipes in the show notes. And if you have any questions, let me know. Tell me what your favorite meal was, what meal you would like to sit down at the table with us to eat. If it's not this one, I'll be surprised. Because this looks good and I'm hungry. So yeah, that is our week. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye and God bless.